Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo kachoo to you and all my nobody's not watching out there. I it ended. I ran out of time, so I have to start a new one, and I don't want to forget what I was saying, and I kind of almost did by watching the old one, but I got back to it. Again, hunters, basically, they see something. They normally wouldn't. There's something supernatural. A lot of times that you know, whether the thing they saw would have something that would prevent them from remembering it or accepting it. It could be that case and they just reject it, or if you saw something that were like that doesn't make sense, like you would just be like, I was drunk or tired or it was dark or whatever, like you would just naturally do that. You wouldn't need anything supernatural to do that. But these people, they don't and they can't, and then they get like sort of selected by this greater force that they get put into a category, like vampires come in clans and bloodlines and whatnot, and it's similar for hunters. There's different types, or they can not, and if they don't, they're kind of like cursed with like this ability to see the world as it truly is, and maybe they do have powers or not. I feel like they don't have. They're stuck being like, oh wow, it turns out that zombies are a thing and ghosts and all this like they see all the supernatural shit that normally they wouldn't, because there's stuff that prevents you from seeing it. It's not just like you walk upon it and you walk down the wrong fucking, came to the wrong part of the fucking hood, motherfucker. Like, it exists. You pass by it all the time, and you just, because there's so many different things happening and so much of it is largely invisible and isn't just, that's a fucking werewolf, like that. It's stuff that happens around you daily. You wouldn't even notice because the magic or supernatural of it prevents you from it, and that spell or all those are just broken. So they're just like, yeah, no, there's this guy at work. Yeah, he's a fucking zombie, and I just have to deal with the fact that he's like a zombie, or he's like a, like there's something that happened, like like there's a ghost that lives next door. There's this, there's that. It's like, I know that this person is probably a vampire. Like, I didn't know any of this before 2 weeks ago, and now I just have to fucking deal with it. And they're stuck that way forever because they didn't accept the call. Or they accept the call and they have but they actually get powers, and then they get put into like a clan. And there's like martyr, fuck, I forget a lot of the other ones. There's like 5 or 6 different. There's wayward, martyr. Those were the games. They had some really awesome games that had them in it. That were Hunter the Reckoning and Hunter Martyr and Hunter Wayward, and they were good games. They were real fun. But yeah, no, it's like there's different types, and they have their own personalities, belief systems, abilities, blah blah blah. But they're still basically humans. They just have special powers that help them defeat, or fight against, vampires, werewolves, etc. Because they're basically there as like, I don't know, like the soul who. The best way I can think of it, I don't know this is the case. It's just the way I've sort of thought of it without knowing deeper lore, is that the soul of humanity is sort of like, fuck, bad things are happening for humans. We have like, we're screwed. There's like all this supernatural shit's just fucking our shit up. We gonna die if we don't have something. And then they just sort of like, it of itself created itself and sort of gives them powers to some people who have to deal with that and to fight against it, because a normal fucking human has very little hope against a vampire. God, so much less against a werewolf. And even like a vampire or a werewolf would have like a hard time fighting something like a ghost. Even if a ghost isn't as dangerous, it's, you know, like, or a wraith, there's different types of those, or a mage. All these things that are supernatural, basically the hunters are out trying to kill them, and they get very much they seem utterly unequipped. Like underfunded, under-equipped, but they are smart and work together in teams and make the best of what they've got. And it's sort of like, well, I could just be crazy for the rest of my life and deal with the fact that these things are happening, and sometimes they're going to recognize that they're happening and they're going to try to kill me or people around me that I care about, and that's a problem. Or I could just accept it and just go with it, and if I die, I die, you know? Like, hunters don't retire. I mean, they might, but for the most part, I feel like they just go till they die. Because, I don't know. I don't see how they fit in the world of darkness properly. It just seems like, who would want to do that? You know? It just seems like if that happened to you, you'd be more likely to be like, I'm going to try to, like, find vampires and become one. You know? Or you can't become a werewolf. It's not like an infectious disease in the world of darkness. It's like, you're born one and you manifest it or you don't. It's like a genetic thing. I think you can become a mage. I don't think you have to be special. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me that they're like, let's try to kill these things that are so much more powerful than us in every way. We're gonna be smart because they're gonna underestimate us. It's like, alright. I mean, you don't have a lot of good choices. It's either be crazy and suffer, fight against the thing, or I don't know why more of you don't join, but I think that they're maybe not able to. Like they can't be turned or something. I don't know. I forget the lore about it. At any rate, we're back on the not ShrekNet. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, there's like, right now the remains of our own networks reserve as government honeypots. Wait, no, let's just go back. A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. Right now, the remains of our old networks serve as government honeypots, kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. Well, then I guess it's good that I talked to you first, rather than being like, make a vampire Tinder profile or whatever, I don't know. You post a certain keyword on Twitter or Facebook, you get tagged for investigation. You fit a certain patterns, you get tagged for investigation. So there is a certain thrill in becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the authorities. Girl, you cray. That's, you're wildin'. She stretches on the bed, and in my head, mentally, I just assume it's like a cat does. You know, they do that little arch back thing, just like yawns, stretches, and it's just like, ah, God, I'm flexible in ways you could never be. I hope you're still monitoring the chat? Question mark? Of course not. You're not as good at dividing your attention as she is. You correct your mistake and check the recent messages. Aww. Is she talking to somebody? Can't wait for the real thing to start. This 2 monitor setup rule. Wait, what? Fuck. Damn it. Damn it. I don't want to press the button because I'm gonna lose it. So I missed. This 2 monitor rules. Setup rules. Call of Duty on one screen, Drop Dead Hotness on the other screen, on the second screen. The only woman I don't hate. Oh, Jesus. Dick Steele. And Steele, like, I forget her name, but there was like a author that Danielle Steele, I think, that writes romance thing, but I think that's the way they spelled it. Hope has crabs and gonorrhea. Hope, more like my favorite. Ho. All right, that's. Nah, you're. I'ma kick ya. Get yourself a normal nickname, douchebag. After 10 seconds, he's back with the same handle. Time for decision. Ignore or ban. Ban that motherfucker. Fuck that guy. Now, that's disrespectful to her. Fuck you. This kind of nickname only suggests trouble. You get rid of them permanently. Like, fuck that guy. Good job. Do I get head pats? Or at least chin scritches. Maybe a pss, 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 pss. I'll take a pss, 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 pss. She's keeping close tabs on you. Anyway, yeah. When the Nosferatu admitted to camera they used the network got compromised, the elders went batshit insane, and internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions. Like I was saying, like, yeah, no, the internet's a no-no. The fact that she's doing any of this is pretty cray, because, yeah. A lot of people who use social media to secretly contact their mortal families and lovers got offed. That goes without saying. But if you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could result in being punished with final death. She's just like, and yet I'm very casual about what I'm doing here. All exposing myself as a vampire, and maybe they don't know that's the case, but, you know, thanks to user Dick Steele, the next goal has just gotten successfully funded. Not sure how that happened. Let's go! Vanishing Act. Dehumanize yourself and face the bloodshed. Oh, Bastardo, you seem okay, but I'm just... What are you... What? What are you saying? She raises her hand, 3 fingers up, 2 fingers up, 1 finger up. The countdown ends and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates there's nobody there. Which I'm gonna say something about. She must be using some special form of obfuscate, because obfuscate in general doesn't really work against electronic stuff. It works against organic and individuals. You know, like it's almost like a mental telepathy, like you just don't see me sort of thing. And there's different levels of it, and it gets more strong, and you can do different things with it because it's, you know, it's vampire. They have all sorts of different ways you can manipulate this concept. You know, like you can be like, do all sorts of crazy shit with it. But in general, it's largely recognized and normalized that the power obfuscate, at least at lower levels, does not affect electronic devices or cameras. That's a different thing. So kudos to her for having that level of it and being like, I'm using that level of it and I don't care. Like, I'm using just that level of it and not like, I feel like the level of it that I'm aware of that it does electronic stuff would also make her invisible normally to others. It like does both, but maybe there's a lower level and I don't really know. But that she's like, oh, you can see me, but they can't. When you deeply focus on the digital image, you swear you can make out some unusual glitching where her silhouette should be, but it could just very well be placebo. Just fucking Predator. She's just like, do you want some candy? Again, another reference people aren't gonna get. It's all good. Those two together should add a hint, though. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. A flash of the camera. The instant she reappears on the screen, she takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. Is she doing the ahageo face? Is that the, I don't even know if you pronounce it that way, but whatever. The chat room explodes and cheers again. She is their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to the screen. Is this the fantasy everyone is here for? A girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing her social media? That seems valid. Like, thinking about it, it's like, this could all just be really good Photoshop. You could just pre-record this and it wouldn't be hard to fake. At least one of these things is like, that's V8. The disappearing trick? Edit it, like you can do that on fucking TikTok. Like, the bleeding thing, you know? I personally have friends. They're not like famous or anything for any like this, but they're a hobbyist at stage makeup, and they like to post stuff about, you know, what it's like. Oh my god! And I remember the first time I saw them do the thing, and just be like, "Oh my god, are you?" And then I was like, "Ow!" Like, because they explained during the post, like, it's stage makeup. They're just really good at it, and like, maybe even explain the process. And I'm like, wait, you use oatmeal and glue and stuff? Like, it's like, what's going on here? And like, that's crazy, because it's like, I genuinely thought you were like in a car accident or something. Like, why you have this hobby, I wouldn't expect you to. That doesn't fit inside the personality that I know you to be. But there's some very convincing theatrical stage makeup thing that can be done. So all of this could totally be done with, like, I'm not going to say minimal effort, but just a little bit of prior planning. You realize you are way out of your depth here, and meanwhile, Hope decides to continue her lecture. Those were some wild times, especially in New York. I mean, I imagine, you know, fucking the Camarilla just inquisitioning their own members. A lot of young vampires must have died, you know? Old vampires, young vampires. That had to be crazy. Like, it'd be like, the fact that you're doing this is insane, but, you know, you're a Malkavian, so, you know, it is what it is. While most of them have no clue as to our real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats, and since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present around here, looking for easy PR victories. But it's not like they can tell anybody. You know, like, they go up, you know, they gain ranks and whatever there, but it's not like they can be like, we caught Bin Laden! We did it, guys! We caught Bin Laden, and then we killed him, and then we threw him into the ocean. Yeah, that checks out. That makes perfect sense that the guy who was theoretically behind one of the most effective and insanely potent terrorist attacks in American history on American territory. Just, you guys shot him in the head at basically one of his many houses or in a cave somewhere, and then on the way back just chucked him into the ocean like a pirate being buried at sea with honors and respect. That's what you did. That's no autopsy, no corpse, no nothing. That's what you did. It's like, dude, you should have just exploded his ass if you're gonna fucking say that. Been more believable. The last SI raid here was a few years ago. It was a big one. Stirred up the hornet's nest. Something fierce. But although it's 2019, NYC is ruled by some embraced before World War fucking II, and the cam got as a whole got really spooked and swore off the internet. So this is from 2019. I didn't realize. I don't know if when I got the game, it was 2019, or if they said it in the future. I feel like I got the game before then. But that's sort of fucked up, like, because I don't know when it is in 2019. But I will say this. I did say things in previous videos where I was like, it's 9 p.m. when you wake up? That's fucking, what is that? And it's like, it's pretty much summer now, June, at the moment of filming. And I was like, I'm kind of dumb, because sunset is basically about 9. Like, really? It's that late? Huh. Well, I guess I'm an idiot. It shows what I know about fucking the Earth's rotation around the sun in this particular geographic locations, etc. It's like, no, it's basically around 9. It wasn't quite like 9, but it was like at 9. It's like the sun has set basically, or you know. And I'm like, huh. I didn't think it was that late. But again, that's not even like I guess July is probably as summer as you get, but maybe it's not, depending on the part. Anyway, whatever, not important. But so I'm assuming it's somewhere in the summer-ish parts of 2019, which, if anybody, again, there's nobody, no one's watching, but you know, COVID-19 is called that for a reason, and it's because it actually started in 2019, and although still the summer would still probably be before it happened. I don't know, I didn't research it too much when it came. Actually, it was pretty late in the year, I think. I don't know, anyway, whatever, moving on. It's just weird. It's just weird to be like, oh yeah, that's the before times. Wow. Of course they're not dumb and understand that you can't really coexist with modern kind without the internet. Which, yeah, no, I mean, it's like, that's weird in its own sense. It's a gray zone right now. Like piracy, technically frowned upon, but let the one without sin cast the first stone. Let she without sin cast the first stone. To quote my heart, my love. May we ever get along like fire hoses, and I'll ever be your duckling. Another Malkavian, another blonde. I'm definitely not as smitten by her as I am by what was it? The Alabaster one? Daughter of Juno, I think, was the way it was put. It's been a while since I played it. The SI is a real threat. No joke. But in many senses, the darkest place is right under the candle. Depending, I mean, yes. You need a holder for the candle, and no light touches under the holder. Unless you have, like, some... I mean, there's ways you could do that, but in general, if you're just... the light source is the candle, yeah. You take another look at the screen. Bender. I have to... I gotta try to... Where's my Bender voice? Let me see if I can dig deep and... Hey, pretty mama. You want to destroy it? No, fuck. I don't have it. Anyway. It wouldn't even matter because the pacing doesn't make sense. We want blood. How about some bat stuff? Can you do some bat stuff? Can you show us next time? Like what? She's gonna Ozzy Osbourne? Just noms? Like it's a sandwich? Or you want her to turn into a bat? Because Malkavians don't have that. That's a protean thing, and maybe vicissitude? It's a Zamish thing. Fuck it. I don't know. Turning into an animal isn't something you can just do. It'd be easier to make the illusion of you turning into an animal than actually do it. For most clans. It's been a long, hard day. Please give me a shout out. That's sad. A familiar nickname pops up. Well, I'm gonna ignore it this time. They said don't say anything, just whatever, man. The guy seems to be having the time of his life. Good on you, buddy. It's just like you're just gonna let this guy shit up the chat? Come on, it's your job to reconnect the spams. Like, you can't see my expression now, but it's that look that you give to somebody where you're just like, fuck you. Like, not angry, just sort of like, are you serious right now? Like, why would you told me not to. Was there no right answer? If I didn't do it, you would have gonna be mad, and now you're... She lets out a dejected sigh and kicks the guy from the room herself. You can't imagine you said it was like, fuck me. Dude, why are you so impog? I just try to make you happy. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. Wait, nope, go back. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. Why would you want to pee? Like, even as a human, like, trying to pretend as a human, unless you're with another human for a long period of time, it doesn't seem like that's a circumstance you would really need to take the effort to do. You know, you're like, oh no, we've been together for so long, I can't have not gone to the bathroom, because you're gonna think that's weird. And you could just say you do and pretend. You just go and disappear for a little bit. You know? You don't have to actually physically do it, and if you do, what happens? Is it blood? Is it... Do you have the power to make it seem like normal urine? Like it's the water from the blood? Or it's slightly yellow? Is it super yellow? Do you piss blood? I actually don't really want to know. If we just exert ourselves really hard. Some of us can even orgasm. We can even cry, but only tears of blood. That's the thing that would be scary for me. Is, as a Toreador, and I'm a particularly emotional person, I'm a bit sensitive, in touch with my feminine side. The idea of being somewhere at some time and emotionally brought to tears somehow, and that it's like blood, that is definitely a breach of the masquerade. So fuck, you know? Like, being not able to cry would be better,